Hello guys, and welcome to another great Knuckle Justice show. This one's not a review show, it's more of a preview show, as I got lucky this weekend and was contacted by Bioware to do beta testing on their new Star Wars The Old Republic. I wanted to show you guys video of the game with sound and everything, but I just couldn't get my screen capture to do a good job this weekend. So instead I got a bunch of screenshots, a whole bunch of screenshots that I just put together in succession, and as close together as I could get it for video. And of course there is no sound with that, but you do get a look at the graphics of the game. It's estimated that this game may be one of the most expensive games ever made, and it shows as far as the gameplay and everything goes. The animations are unbelievable and the character design is unbelievable. You have a great deal of customization you can do with your characters as you're picking between the Rebellion and the Republic there, in order to facilitate the war that's going on. You take place in the war in a massive online multiplayer game in which there is missions and a regular game story that you go through, but there also is a huge war going on in which the players are involved in. So you have a good side and bad side, with players picking which team they want to be in and building their own characters, and really it makes it a very, very interesting game where you just never know what you're going to run into and who you're going to run into. And you won't really have much of an idea of how powerful they are until you face them. It does have a star rating system where if you run into somebody that's more powerful than you, it'll try to warn you about that. But you really don't know what powers they've chosen to go with and how they've built their character up, which makes it very interesting while you're playing. Another great feature of it being a bunch of real people playing is that on top of being able to build and customize your own character, you can join groups of people and talk to people while you're playing and get groups together in order to keep yourself alive. And eventually you're going to have to be in a group of people in order to stay alive. I don't know if you can get powerful enough to just fight everybody by yourself, but it stays true to Star Wars fashion, as you can be on the good side of the Force or the bad side of the Force, and no matter what character you pick or what side you choose, you could still make decisions that take you toward the dark side. Or even if you start off as a Sith warrior, you can make choices that bring you toward the light side, which has surprised me because I didn't think that was going to happen. There's a good shot of the customization. You can just choose different hairstyles, different beards, different skin color. Even change the head and the face of your character and his complexion and everything. You just have a lot of good choices. And then you name your character and off you go into the world to build your character the way you want to do it. The game stays, of course, in true Star Wars fashion with the intro, just like the movies had. And the intro stays with the character you picked. You don't have to be a Jedi or a Sith. You can be a scout or things like that. You don't have to go that route. But I imagine most people are going to want to be Jedi or Sith. It may make for an uneven battlefield out there when everybody's doing that, but it has different bonuses for being other character classes as well anyway. So after a while people may decide they want to do that. You can have multiple characters too and run them all at the same time. The computer will have different files for you, so you just go in and click on it and hit start. It was real easy. I found that after I created a couple characters, it was real easy just to go back and pick which one I wanted to play as and go right into the game. It'll save it right where you left off. So right when you go in, you're standing right at the same point you were when you quit the last game. On top of the cinematics, which as far as I know, there's only 3 cinematics, full cinematic movies for the game, and you can check them out on YouTube and see the whole things with sound and everything, and they are awesome. I think most of the people, including myself on YouTube, decided that they should just go ahead and make a movie because the animations are so amazing. I don't think they'll do that, but that would be awesome. I'm sure it would get incredible ticket sales because they just do a great job with the fight scenes and their cinematics. This is how you talk. You just have a wheel with the responses you can make, and you can get points toward the dark side or the light side by your responses, as well as by the things you decide to do in the world of the Old Republic. And as you can see, the graphics are top-notch, even because this is actual gameplay graphics right here on these screenshots, and that's top-notch graphics, especially for a massive online multiplayer game in which you've got all that information flying through the internet to your computer and from your computer back to the internet, back to the servers, and it still keeps up a good pace. And one thing I noticed, the frame rate of the game is incredible, because I've got a fairly slow internet connection, and I was still able to play the game without any real hindering lag going on. Of course, every once in a while when I was running around, I might get a little bit of lag, but they're still really working out the bugs, as this was the last beta test weekend for the game. So it looks like by the time the game comes out, it's scheduled for release on December 20th. So when the game actually comes out, they should have it pretty well perfected. They've been doing multiple beta tests, and I was just lucky enough to get picked for the last one. I think this last weekend they got as many people as they could to do the beta test for the game, because they wanted to pack the servers as full as they could and see if they would crash. And every time you left the game, they would give you a little survey to see if you ever crashed or not. And I never crashed, not one time, the whole time I played. So it really looks like a great game. And if anyone's interested in buying it, I don't think you're gonna make a bad decision with that. You're probably gonna get hours and hours and hours of enjoyment out of it. The only problem, it may suck a lot of your life away. You probably get off work, get home, and just want to play. But that's the price you pay if you like playing these games. And it's a taxi. You can take taxis and really interact with a lot of the NPC characters as well, the non-player characters, as you can react with playing characters too. Talk to them and join groups, as I already mentioned. And you can also interact with the non-player characters to evolve the storyline of your specific character, which I thought was really interesting, is that you have a storyline going on with your specific character that is undoubtedly going to be different every time you play through the game, even if you were to pick the same class, because you can make so many different choices on how you deal with the problems you have to face, that who knows where you could end up. You could start off fighting for the Republic as a Jedi Knight, and then next thing you know, you fall into the dark side and have joined a bunch of Sith to destroy the Jedi Temple. Who knows where you're going to end up and what you'll end up doing. Really, I guess it just depends on the people you meet and who you want to stick with throughout the game. This is one of the first missions where you have to fight a bunch of flesh raiders. They're just mindless beasts. Well, it's supposed to be mindless beasts, but as the story unfolds, it finds out they have somehow captured military weapons, and they have a strange leader. It's kind of a surprise when you meet him. You think he's a Jedi, but it turns out nobody knows who he is. Which was a good thing, because he turned out to be a real weak Jedi. If he would have been a Jedi, he'd been incredibly weak as a Jedi. But that'll be part of the story that unfolds as you play through. Here's a little meditation for healing, and the Jedi gets to do the meditation to heal, and the Sith has a concentrated rage he does, which heals him. So they have the same powers in a way, and they're built different ways with different animations. And then as you go through, you build your character however you want to build him. So you end up with a different character. Everybody's going to be running around with different characters that look different, play different, and have different powers, which is going to make the game incredibly interesting once you get into the world of it. And here's what I was talking about, where you have different files. There I had two files. I had a Sith file and a Jedi file. So I picked the Jedi Knight file and it loaded up. And what had happened was I played the game and I decided to leave the game, so I just exited out, and it saved it right where it left off. So as soon as I clicked on my file again and started back up, it just brought me right back into where I was when I exited last time, which was in a Twi'lek village they're having some problems with the flesh raiders, so you get to go out and do a little diplomatic stuff talking to them. And what I wanted to show you guys with this, these screenshots will show you kind of the world where he runs around, but also you get to see a little bit of how the interaction goes with the non-player characters, with the NPC characters that you saw earlier on in the video. When you got your first mission, he was talking to the guy at the Jedi temple there. But here you get to go out and talk to the Twi'leks, and you can choose different ways to communicate with them. There are different things to say in which you can make them mad, or you can get them to join up with you and help you do things. And you'll get dark side and light side points based on how you respond to certain things. But it goes into little animation sequences like this when you're talking to them. Now you can see the graphics are amazing. Every model has good graphics, real good shading and texturing. It's not thrown together real haphazardly. It's very nice, very good artistic style they've done. And once again, as you talk here, you've got the little wheel that pops up underneath with your responses that you can choose what to say. There it is. And you just choose one of the responses. It's got numbers on it too. You can just hit the keyboard with the number you want to say. It's real easy to control the game as well. You can go through and anything you can't figure out, there's a help menu at the top of the screen, and there's a little pop-up that pops up on the right side of the screen, which you can click and it'll tell you how to do things. But what I want to show you here is just how good the graphics are of the game. As I mentioned earlier, it's one of the most expensive games ever made, and is actually absolutely incredible. Anyone who is interested in getting it is not going to lose out for sure. And at the end of this one, they give two options. You got the yellow Twi'lek there. He's giving you an option to just destroy a cave that the flesh raiders are in, and then the green Twi'lek wants you to steal the weaponry that they've got and bring it back. And how you respond to that, you don't actually tell them what you're going to do. You just go do the mission, and while you're there, you'll either grab the weapons or you'll blow the cave. And so it's just how you do it that changes the world and the way your game's going to evolve out and the way your character's going to evolve out. To the end, you'll end up with a very complicated, complex character that's going to be different every time. It's going to be pretty much impossible to do the exact same things twice with your character all the way through. You'll never be able to build the same character twice just because of how many options you have. I mean, you'd have to write every single thing you did down in order to do that. So the replay value of the game is going to be monumental. It's probably going to change the way massive online games are. And after this game comes out, everyone else is going to have to compete with it in order to stay in the market. They're going to have to make games that are kind of like it or up the ante again somehow. It's definitely going to change the face of gaming, especially PC games that come out. A lot of the big games are on consoles anymore, and this one's just going to be PC for now anyway. I don't know how big the sales are going to go with it or how far it's going to go in the future, but for now it's definitely just PC. Massive online multiplayer, and it's going to change the face of it for sure, just like World of Warcraft did earlier on. I think they started out with EverQuest as the first real massive online multiplayer that people really got into. I'd say it was EverQuest, and then World of Warcraft came along and changed the face of that, and this one's going to come along and change it again and really update it for the new era here. And it's going at a regular price. What I saw, there's a collector's edition, which is a little bit more expensive and has statue comes with it, I think, and some certain things come with it. But the regular game is around $60, it looks like. And the collector's edition, there's one collector's edition like $75, and it goes on up from there. But also, if you pre-order the game, you get an early access to the game, and I think it starts December 15th, somewhere around there, 5 days before the game's actual release when you can start. And so those guys who are really into it and start early like that are going to be a bit more powerful by the time everybody else even gets into the world of the Old Republic here. As I played the Sith character and the Jedi character, the huge differences in the fact that the Sith character levels up a lot faster because you're just killing with him to level up. You can do that with the Jedi character, but it doesn't really stick with his story. So it's just going to be really interesting to see how the battle unfolds in this game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, a little preview of it, even though it was just screenshots. And I hope you're having a great day. And thanks for watching.